Hey guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and Happy New Year. Today I thought it would be fun to do something that I actually did last year in the year 2020 in January. I did a blog post called my 3-year blog anniversary and my top 10 posts of 2019. And so I thought it would be neat to continue on with that tradition. It's 2021 now, so I thought it would be fun to reflect on this past year and look and see what my most popular posts were from the year 2020, which posts were visited the most on my blog, and I will put links to all of these posts in the description below if any of them interest you, if you missed them over the past year. And then I will also share with you my top 5 favorite projects from 2020, because some of my favorite projects of this past year actually didn't make it in the top 10 list for most popular posts on my blog, which was sort of funny to me, but that's okay. The very first post that did the best for me in 2020 was that DIY wood, raw wood finish tutorial that I shared in the spring. And I was sharing how I took one of our nightstands from upstairs, it was very orange, and I got it down to this beautiful raw wood finish. And I will put the link for you in the description below. It was a very simple tutorial, very easy to do if you're interested in getting a piece of wood furniture that you have down to a beautiful raw wood finish. This is definitely a tutorial that you'd be interested in. And I have a YouTube video along with some step-by-step photos, as well as how I finished and sealed that piece of furniture. So I'll put that in the description below. That was number 1. The number 2, I hate to call this a post, and maybe I shouldn't have included it, but I was just blown away because I did create this in 2020, and that was my shop page on my blog where I decided to start selling my paintings. And I have to say, I got a little bit teary-eyed when I saw that this ranked number 2 for posts, which I did create a post about it in 2020. I just couldn't even believe that I had so many shop page visits from people, and I know a lot of them came from you guys. When I came on here this past summer and shared with you that I was going to start selling my paintings that I literally just did for fun. I was just sort of sharing in stories that I had picked up painting as a hobby because, you know, we were all going through this crazy quarantine, and it was just something fun to do, something that really helped to relax me. And sooner or later I started to get questions about whether or not I would sell my paintings, which blew me away since I was just sort of playing. But I did decide to sell the downloadable prints, and that was the second most visited page on my blog for 2020, so I thought that was really neat. Number 3 on the list, I did a blog post called English Cottage Elements That Won't Break the Bank, and that ranked very high as well, number 3. A lot of people enjoyed that post. I just shared some different elements that give you that English cottage style that you're looking for, but that don't cost a ton of money. So I shared some really different tips and some things that I think helped a lot of people. So if you're interested, again, I'm going to put the links to all of these posts in the description below. Number 4 on the list, which is crazy again, was my free pumpkin printable. That pretty little trio of pumpkins that I painted in August to give away to you guys just as a free printable actually ranked number 4. And I couldn't believe that so many of you wanted to go and grab that printable. It really made me so happy. Number 5 on the list for 2020 was my pea gravel patio tour. I think a lot of you were interested in my pea gravel patio, and I believe in the post I talked about what we did to create that patio, and I also shared about the border that we added this past summer. We went and got some free fieldstone and added it all around the patio area, and so I gave you a little tour of that space. I shared some things that we did in order to create that space, and that was a very popular post, number 5 in 2020. Number 6 made me really happy because that was something that we worked so hard on, and that was our Thrifty cottage shed makeover. We gave our little shed in the backyard that my husband wanted to tear down. We gave that a makeover, and it was a long process. We painted the entire thing. I actually painted the entire thing, gave it a fresh coat of paint. We added some cedar shake to the little arch there on the shed. We found some old 100-year-old doors on Facebook Marketplace, and we replaced the old ugly garage door with these new doors, antique doors that I found. So it's a really fun makeover. I think it turned out so beautiful. And if you're looking to give your shed a makeover this year, be sure to head over and check out that post for some inspiration. Number 7 on my list for 2020 top post was my brass bells printables. From this past Christmas, I painted some little brass bells and snow-covered Christmas trees, and again, I guess you guys really love printables and I need to paint more of those this year, so I will keep that in mind. It really blew me away, and I'm glad that I did this because sometimes I paint these things and think that nobody will really be interested, I guess, in my little doodles, and you guys just blow me away. So many of you loved those and you used them this past Christmas, which made me so happy. Number 8 on the list for 2020 was my Christmas dining room, which was really cool because my grandfather passed away, and one of the things that I was able to take from his home was this beautiful antique dresser. And we gave it a little makeover, sanded it down. I put it in my dining room for now, and I shared that space all decorated for Christmas, and that made number 8 on the list. So thank you guys so much for all the love on that post, for telling me how much you loved my grandpa's dresser. So number 9, and I'm trying to fly through these for you guys, was my Ikea Decor steals post. So I just shared all of the things in my home that I have purchased at Ikea, and I put them all in a blog post. I actually created a YouTube video for all of these. I've created YouTube videos, and I just shared some of my Ikea decorating favorites, but I would like to go again soon if we're ever able to. So if I do, I promise I will take you guys along. If you've never been to Ikea, it's really just a neat experience. They have so many cool things there. So I shared all of my favorite steals that I have around our home in that post if you want to check it out. And then number 10 on the list was that lamp makeover, that thrift store lamp makeover that I did. I want to say it was in August or September. I found a thrift store lamp, I gave it a makeover, and I shared the step-by-step process on the blog. I also did a YouTube video. I recorded myself painting it. So if you have any old lamps laying around, before you get rid of them, I'd encourage you to go check out that post and see if maybe my lamp makeover inspires you to do something fun with your own. Okay, so really quick, I promise I'm gonna wrap this up. A few of my favorite projects. I'm just gonna share five of them with you that were my favorites. Some of these did not make the list, which I think is hilarious. But in April of last year, we actually installed a new high back sink and faucet. That was one of my favorite projects, and that didn't make the top 10 list. So it was such a tricky project, I'll be honest, cutting into our countertops and installing this high back sink. We did it all ourselves, but I think it turned out so beautiful. It transformed our kitchen. It gave it this vintage feel, and I really loved that project. Number 2 on my list would be hiding our dishwasher with these reclaimed wood strips that we found at the hardware store. That is such, in my opinion, a cool tutorial. Didn't make the top 10 list. That's okay. Probably just because it's weird. And who really wants to hide their dishwasher besides, you know, weirdos like me? But I thought it was really cool and really creative. So if you would like to visit that post, I'll put the link in the description below. Another one of my favorites this year, number 3, was installing our barn beam mantle. We found a beam on Facebook Marketplace for 60 bucks. It came out of an old barn. It is so cool. I think we found it in February. Again, it was like right before all of the quarantine craziness. Picked it up. Everything kind of shut down in March. We had a lot of spare time to work on projects, and my husband installed it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way it looks with the stone. That is definitely one of my favorite projects of 2020, so you'll have to check that one out. Probably my next favorite project in 2020 was our sunroom makeover. and there are so many projects within that project, but I'll just sort of be broad and say sunroom makeover. We built an entire DIY desk on one wall. The other wall we added DIY shelves, a window bench. We covered the entire inside of the sunroom with beadboard. I mean, it really got a makeover from top to bottom, and I love the way that space came out. It's one of my favorite spaces, honestly. I love to paint out there. I love to work out there, and the piano is still out there. So it's just sort of a creative space, and I love it so much. And that would probably be my number 4. There are honestly so many other projects in 2020 that I could talk about. I'm looking at our porch makeover. We added new shutters. Oh my goodness. We already talked about the shed makeover. That was one of my favorites, but that made it in the top 10, so I won't talk about that. Of course, our bathroom makeover. But you know, I'm probably gonna end it with our cottage flower garden, the garden that we added right next to our shed. I don't know if you guys remember, we used some reclaimed wood and created these beautiful raised beds right next to the shed. We surrounded them with stone, and it's just this beautiful area. Initially, I wanted it to be a vegetable garden, but because of that wood being treated, I had a lot of you message me and say, don't plant vegetables there, which was sort of a bummer because one day I would really love to have a vegetable garden. But instead we chose to go with classic cottage perennials. We chose so many beautiful flowers, and it just became one of my favorite spots. In the evening I would walk through there and just weed and smell some of the beautiful flowers. We planted lavender. The catmint sort of took over, so I'm gonna have to figure that out this next year as it comes back, because I'm sure it'll come back even stronger. But it was just one of my favorite places this past summer and even into the early fall, and that was probably one of my favorite projects. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this reflection on 2020, and if you are new here, maybe some of those projects interest you and you'd like to go check them out. I would love for you to do that. Again, everything will be in the description below. So thanks again for watching. If you are new here, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.